Hi, this is the 13th Wolfman. This is the evolution of evil. This is the 2000s. That's right. This one's going to be big. This one's going to go long. I'm not sure if it's going to be 2 parts or 3 parts, but I'm going to talk about the 2000s. In 1999, there was a movie that came out called The Blair Witch. Now, some people think that this was the greatest thing since bubblegum. I'm not one of them. Y'all know it. You've heard my whines about it. Move on. But this movie made a killing at the box office. So again, horror was just, it was revitalized, in my opinion, by Scream. But when Blair Witch came out in '99, independent horror was now revitalized. And in the 2000s, we hit our mark. We had movies that came out that Forsaken, which really is just another WB, CW, type of thing. But it's a decent vampire film, if you ask me. And then you had Cabin Fever, which introduced us, the people as we know it, to Eli Roth, the twisted man of horror himself. He gave us the story of 5 people that went up into the woods and got a flesh-eating virus. There is no boogeyman. There is no vampire. There are no werewolves. It's a virus, man, and that's messed up. You think, hey, you're safe. You don't have a guy in a hockey mask and a machete chasing you down. You don't have Michael over here, the Shape, chasing you down. You don't got Freddy invading your nightmare. You're not in Texas, so you don't got to worry about becoming barbecue. No, you just can't drink the water. Our bodies are made up of like 90% water, and you can't drink it. So yeah, that was Cabin Fever, and I always liked Cabin Fever. So Cabin Fever gave another little boost to independent horror. Wrong Turn. Wrong Turn, which essentially was just a blatant take off on The Hills Have Eyes, with the exception of where The Hills Have Eyes were set in the desolation of a desert. These was set in the forests of West Virginia. But you got the same kind of thing. You got cannibal mutants, and I personally have always, I mean, The Hills Have Eyes is like one of my favorite all-time films. Don't get me wrong. But I love Wrong Turn. I mean, to me, I don't feel like it's a ripoff. I just feel that's a really good movie. So Wrong Turn came out. After Wrong Turn, you had, oh man, we had like a ton of horror. 2004, we saw 2000s were really the setting for remakes, because and independent stuff, because along with the independent stuff I just mentioned, we also got Dawn of the Dead, the remake in 2004, the Zack Snyder film. And Zack Snyder did a really good take on updating the old Romero film without crapping all over the old Romero film. The Romero film is a classic in itself, but it does have its flaws. There's the little scene where the bikers break into the mall and it becomes kind of like a slapstick type thing. That's always kind of bugged me. Like, it didn't feel needed, in the original Romero film. They didn't use that in this, which is kind of cool. And the people, it went from 5 people in the mall to like 9. And the people were a little more interesting. And he did a really, like I said, really great job. Of course, zombies are running, so what can you say? Then you got From Across the Pond, 28 Days Later, which is not a zombie film. I want people to understand, 28 days later, 28 weeks later, they are not zombie films. They are infected with a rage virus. So it's really a virus film. It's kind of like Outbreak, but these people are jacked up and on rage, and they just want to kill or hurt anyone that's in their way. But you have that film coming out from across the pond. Another really great movie that came out from across the pond is The Descent by Neil. Man, I'm blanking this morning. I hate this. I just had his name a few minutes ago, but whatever. So, The Descent. Creepy girls go cave diving and, you know, meet these underground dwellers. That was a very, very good movie. The sequel was okay, but the first one was just very good. And like I said, we had remakes galore. They gave us stuff like remake of The Hills Have Eyes, remake of the Texas Massacre, remake of, well, Fright Night, but that's not here nor there. But the remakes were coming, and some were really, really good, and some were really, really bad. Like A Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake was just god awful. Rob Zombie tried to remake Halloween with Halloween 1 and Halloween 2, which was just, in my opinion, they don't even come close to being as good as the original. But Rob Zombie also tried to make straightforward horror films. He had tried it with House of a Thousand Corpses, which there's some people that really like this movie. I know I sound picky, but I wasn't one of them. I don't think the movie was focused enough. You know, it seemed like it was all over the place. Little hard rock music video here, and just stuff here and other stuff. It just didn't seem like he really focused all his energy into one mental thought to give us a straightforward horror film. And then he did the sequel, The Devil's Rejects, which was exactly what I wanted the first movie to be, focused. You know, he used the exact same characters. It's the sequel. To me, the sequel is 100% superior to the first movie. We get, the characters are a little more developed. We get a decent storyline. We don't have all the little black and white stuff thrown in. You know, like clips of strippers. Not that I don't like strippers, but it just seemed like there was stuff on stuff that just, it seemed too abstract. House of a Thousand Corpses. The Devil's Rejects, on the other hand, was just a great film. You had Wolf Creek out of Australia, another great horror film. The 2000s were just exploding, and when I come back for part 2 of this, I will talk about that. I'm the 13th Wolfman. I'm on the prowl.